In politics, people think victory comes from louder words, stronger allies, or sharper attacks. But the Destiny Matrix says otherwise. According to the Matrix, Sara Duterte cannot win this war by force. She cannot outshout, outthreaten, or outmuscle BBM, Liza Marcos, and Martin Romualdez. Because the truth is simple, she only wins when she stops playing their game and starts playing hers. Today, we decode the Matrix and reveal the exact energetic strategy that allows Sara to rise above the chaos, strong and unstoppable. Trust me, after this, you'll understand the political battlefield in a way you've never seen before. Let's get straight to the point. The conflict between Sara BBM, Liza, and Martin isn't random. It's not purely political. It's energetic coded in their Matrix programs. To understand how Sara wins, we first need to understand her opponents. First, BBM. He is the transformational destroyer. He has the energy of destruction and creative restart, and the wisdom of the lone philosopher. Translation: he wins by staying calm, staying quiet, and dissolving systems behind the scenes. You can't punch water, and you can't beat BBM in a shouting match. Next, Liza Marcos, the silent protector of the system. Her power is law, justice, and vital interest. Protection: she doesn't fight with microphones. She fights with documents, institutions, and silence. She is the strategist who can end careers through paperwork, not drama. And finally, Martin Romualdez, the Force leader with revenge and authority wounds. Martin's Matrix shows enormous physical energy, a strong leadership drive, and prosperity power, but it also reveals revenge and loss of authority programs. When he feels disrespected, he reacts aggressively and institutionally. So why does Sara lose if she fights their way? Sara is powerful, no question, but she loses when she plays their game because her shadow energies mirror theirs. Sara carries programs for revenge, loss of authority, and what we call a fake program, which gets triggered by messy documentation. So, when she threatens violence, attacks the presidency, mocks institutions, or reacts impulsively, she enters the very battlefield where Liza and Martin are naturally stronger. That's the trap. When Sara fights as the warrior, she loses. But when she fights as the teacher, architect, and spiritual leader, she can become unbeatable. So, how does Sara win? Let's break down the Matrix strategy. Win move number 1. Exit the revenge cycle. Sara and Martin both carry revenge energy, and BBM also carries a hidden, deep, quiet, long-term form of it. If Sara fights with anger, she feeds the very energy that destroys her. Her winning move: she needs to shift from a personal war to a system transformation. A public tone like, "My fight is not against individuals. My fight is for better governance," would instantly shut down their shadow programs. Win move number 2. Clean documentation to neutralize Liza Marcos. Sara's biggest vulnerability is her fake program, which revolves around issues with documentation, legitimacy, and process integrity. This is exactly Liza's strongest weapon: law, paperwork, compliance, and system correctness. So how does Sara win? By becoming the most transparent figure in the conflict. Her winning moves would be independent audits, clean accounting, published dashboards, and strict legal compliance. No shortcuts. When she cleans her documentation, Liza loses her sharpest sword. Win move number 3. Shift into the teacher-leader archetype. Sara's true identity, according to the Matrix, is not the fighter. It's the archpriest, the educator, the explicable, the rule-maker. BBM cannot match this. Martin cannot match this. Liza cannot match this. Sara wins when she becomes the national explicable, the system's mentor, the governance teacher, the voice of clarity. This elevates her above petty drama. Win move number 4. Activate the spiritual priest line. Sara carries a past life priest, 𝓓𝓮𝓼𝓽𝓲 global, spiritual, wisdom-bearing mission. BBM's camp does not have this frequency. Liza's camp does not carry spiritual leadership coding. Martin has power, but not spiritual legitimacy. When Sara shifts to a message of purpose, unity, a higher mission, healing, and spiritual guidance, She enters a domain where no one can compete. This is her unassailable advantage. Win move number 5 is about soft power, not war power. Filipinos don't fall in love with warriors. They fall in love with healers, teachers, and guides. What wins the public? Humility, reflection, service, grace under fire. This is something her opponents may struggle with, but Sara can embody it effortlessly because it's already in her blueprint. And finally, win move number 6. Build the third force movement. Sara's matrix is not built for factional politics. It's built for national systems architecture. Her winning platform would focus on education, reform, anti-corruption systems, justice modernization, youth empowerment, and data-based governance. A third force that is not anti-Marcos, but bigger than the Marcos-Duterte divide. She becomes the bridge to one who rises above the clans, not against them. So what happens when she switches strategy? When Sara stops feeding the war energy, BBM's detachment loses impact. Liza's legal strategy loses resonance. Martin's institutional force loses its target. And Sara becomes the adult in the room, the reform architect, the national teacher, the spiritual leader, and the system builder. This is her winning identity. Not the warrior, not the avenger, not the victim, but the architect of unity and transformation. In the Destiny Matrix, power is never about who shouts the loudest, but who stands in their true purpose. Sara Duterte wins, not by fighting harder, but by shifting into the version of herself that her opponents cannot touch. A clean, transparent, spiritually aligned teacher, architect, and national guide. When she rises into that role, she doesn't just win against BBM Liza or Martin, she wins the future. And that is the path written in her matrix. The question now is simple. Will she choose the warrior or the leader she was destined to become?